Mohammed Ryan. So tell me about yourself. Where are you from? उर्दू में बात करनी है, इंग्लिश में बात करनी है? How would you like to communicate? English
I
में?
do not mind.
Okay, so
So,
English is fine.
yeah.
So
Yeah.
tell me about your story. Where are you coming from? What are you doing right now? Just give me some 20,000 foot view.
Assalamu alaikum. My name is Mohammed Riyan. I live in Rochester, Minnesota, in the United States right now. I am 22 years old and currently pursuing an associate's degree in cybersecurity in Rochester Community and Technical College, which is a community college here in my city, Rochester. Originally, I was born here, but I spent like 15 to 16 years of my lifetime in Pakistan with my family. So I was born here, but I grew up in Pakistan. About 4 years, 3.5 or 4 years ago, I came to US for higher education. The rest of my family live back in Pakistan. I have three other siblings in addition to me, and right now I'm the oldest one. They're younger, they're sitting back in Pakistan right now. And this is it for the most part. I believe in the last quarter of 2024, I came across alnafi. I was actually going through my education here at RCTC, where I was taking different courses from different websites and different organizations, essentially. And I was just checking the worth between them and how well are they preparing an individual for a job role. That's when your company was one of the primary candidates that I like to test. So I gave it a shot. And after that, I was quite intrigued at the way you were teaching and the course that you're following right now. In comparison to I went to SANS actually and started comparing your courses, and you were uh, predominantly teaching very big courses. And when I went over there to check, they were like hundreds of thousands of dollars. And at
Yes.
first I was like, how is that working out? How are you pulling it off? That was the big question. And I showed it to one of my seniors, and they're like, is that real? I was like, man, seems like it. So I'm gonna give it a shot. So I went on. I signed up for one of your diplomas back then. I believe it was CAT. I
Yes.
got a 7-day free trial, and I started learning things. I knew a bit of Linux and Bash already, and when I started noticing the details that was going into the lectures, I was quite intrigued. So I was like, I'm gonna give it a better shot and just give more time and see where this goes. I did it, and came to CSSP where I realized that's like big stuff. You were teaching CSSP. I printed all the notes, got all the information in. I was like, okay, I'm gonna just go for it. Let's go.
So you
So
went for
I
the exam?
dropped,
Did
sorry,
you went for the exam?
I'm still preparing for it.
Okay.
I'm listening to the lectures, reading the notes. I have finished my first two domains, domain one and domain two. Right now I'm reading the lectures on asset security and getting all the core details in, and this is where
Okay.
I'm standing right now. But the big part for me and what changed for me was I dropped my associate's classes. That was the hardest part. I was realizing that I'm 2 credits short. I'm 6 credits short on my associate's degree. And I
Yes.
was essentially just reflecting on what I have learned in the past 2 years. It's a cybersecurity associate's degree. So I spent more than 1.5 years pursuing that, and I couldn't really see going anywhere with that. So I was like, okay, the degree program is named cybersecurity, but so far I knew nothing about cybersecurity. By just reading and reading the notes and listening to your lectures, I knew more about cybersecurity in general in an organizational perspective than I had learned in the past 1.5 years. So I ditched the courses and just went all in. And then I stopped actually because I was getting married and so many things came in. After that, I decided to really go on full time since I had already left my studies, and I got AI Ops annually. I signed up
Okay.
for that, and right now I am currently working on that. I'm already done 40% on my DCCS,
Okay.
where I finished a couple of different courses, and I'm currently doing the same thing right now. I was studying last night when I texted you. I believe you Canadian time is like 1 hour difference between the central time here.
Yeah, like right now it's 1 p.m. Eastern time. So we're in the Eastern time zone, same like the New York, right? So
It's 12 p.m. right here. So yeah. At that time, I was just studying, finishing my RTL lectures and getting some hands-on practice in.
okay.
So yeah.
All right, so that's a good story, Marshall. I'm going to tell you something about it, right? So you're not the first student who came to me and said, like, I haven't learned anything from going to the university or the college, right? The problem is, and I think I've shown this article many times, these research studies many times by Harvard, MIT, Stanford, and you can search online, you can see it online as well. Universities are only preparing you for knowledge and title. There is no skill, right? So skill is the missing element. If they have that, then you should be able to secure a job. The problem with the US education system is that uh, whoever goes in, they always carry a lot of, like burden of, debt, right? So I'm not sure, like in the community colleges, normally they are publicly sponsored, right? So the government is paying for it. And that's like a poor man's route in terms of like getting the education, right? So most of the Hispanic community, or you can say people of color, like the African community, you will see it in the community colleges, right? And that is how the education system of US is, right? So there's a very good documentary known as Waiting for Superman, right? It talks about the US education system. Back in 2008, 2009, somewhere between that time frame, 10, I watched that documentary with my wife, and that was very eye-opening, the education system of US, right? And during that time frame, I was planning to open this college. So I started my planning while I was at Stanford, thinking what needs to be done. And I've seen students from MIT, Stanford, Harvard, jobless. They don't have any, like, I mean, you're going to a community college which is cheaper, which is almost free, as compared to going to these top universities or even the middle tier universities, right? So the problem is that it's the faculty. The faculty emphasizes more on research, on academia, rather than on the industry demands. So if the US pays attention and they invest their time in terms of creating a skill-based education, there should be academia, right? There should be academia because you still need a degree and it verifies your worth, yes, but it should be more primarily based on skills, right? So that's why when you log on, we talk more about industry and skills, and from day one we focus on the job description. So when you go there, what do you have to do? How do you ace the interview? I mean, like, even if you study at Stanford or Harvard or any of these universities, they don't help you in terms of even simply building a resume, Oxford or Cambridge or any of these institutes, right? So if the top institutes are not doing it, forget about the bottom ones, right? And the middle ones. So no one does that. The goal for universities is just one primary goal: just push you through the course and get you out so that they can make sure that they have enough bump on the toilet seats at the universities and they keep it warm, right? That's the main purpose, right? This yeah, this thing came to us like when we were in a meeting with EduQual, and EduQual, CEO said to us that all we are concerned about is we have to make sure that we have enough bumps on the toilet seat that it is warm, something like that. He used some kind of metaphor, right? It was very interesting. So anyway, when we were going on that, I mean, that was his view, that's what the universities are concerned about, right? Our goal is not like that. Our goal is, yes, you need a degree or a diploma. Absolutely, yes. But at the same time, you need the education. So you are only 6 credits short of, so when you do this associate degree and you have to take admission at the university, how many credits will you get altogether for the associate degree? 240?
60, no, we have a total of 120 credits here. So the first 60 are for associates, and the second 60 are for the bachelorate degree. So
So
60
60
plus
credits,
60,
right?
120. Yes.
So you still have to do, one more year, 2 more years at the university, right?
2 more 1.5 to 2 more years to finish my to
So
get my
that
bachelor's degree.
so that means that the associate degree is equivalent to RQF level 4. which is
I
what,
see.
first year. Like normally, if you do HND, Higher National Diploma at Pearson, it's a 2 years diploma, but you get the last year at the university,
I see.
right? So essentially, that's what it means, like normally, right? Anyway, you can verify that and you can do all of those things, right? You're living in Minnesota. There's a valedictorian from Minnesota, right? What's his name? Let me check, right? So this brother, he completed his degree from Minnesota as a valedictorian. And you know what he does? He drives a truck. And you know what, in which courses he did it? In cybersecurity. He did a degree. Forget about like going to a community college.
So that's like a 4-year degree you finished?
Yes, 4 years degree,
Okay.
right? I have a student, but when he started studying with us, and for the past 2 years, even after graduation, he was driving a truck, right? He was driving a truck, not anymore, because he started studying AI ops. He did the DCCS, the DevOps, the SysOps. He's in the last, leg of it, and he's going through interviews. He's going through interviews now. So he said, like, prior to that, no one was calling me for interviews. Now people are calling me for interviews. What just happened? So that's a big shock, right? It's a big shock to the system. No one was calling me or doing anything. US is a huge market. When I was working as a CISO, in US, I've seen people struggling, African community, Asian community, even the Hispanics, and even the Caucasian community, the whites, even they were going through a lot of turmoil within the industry. The problem is that they focus more on getting a degree. There's a perception in the US, if you have a degree, you're set for life. That's the American dream, right? You go to the
Yeah.
best college, get the degree, you will find a job. That is not the case. Absolutely not. One of the biggest, industry in the US after weapons industry, is, and all these, like it comes in the top 10, is the education sector.
It's a business.
So yeah, it's a huge business. Biden administration, I think they were working in terms of forgiving $2 trillion of loan, almost something like that, right? In the ballpark of that, because people are not able to pay back. So the ROI, the return on investment in education, is extremely poor. The ROI, the education system needs to be designed in a way that your return on investment, the moment you are in the university, in few months, 6 months, 9 months, maximum 12 months down the line, people should be calling you. Are you interested to work? Would you like to work? That is the goal of the university. And the universities, the colleges are failing miserably. Schools' responsibilities is to ensure that, the person is ready to select a career where he wants to do, what he wants to do, where he wants to go, and he's ready for the college. But they do enough to push you in the college. And the college does enough to push you out so that you can graduate and just get the hell out of here, right? Just go to any university you want to do, right? And that's what they're focused on. This is not how the Americans are left behind in many matrices, right? There are 15 key technologies. Whoever is harnessing that, they will be, which are known as the 15 keys to the kingdom right now, globally. And out of those 15 technologies, all of those are core IT technologies. 10 of them, China is excelling. And the reason is that China is spending more time in creating those rules, right? So, and they have created an education system that emphasizes on all the key aspects. The US education system is unfortunately is designed in a way, it's more sports oriented, it's more prom oriented, it's more cool oriented, how cool you are, right? Ma azrafa, like as they say in Arabic, Rasulullah Sallallahu Alaihi Wasallam said, like a time will come that people will say, Ma azrafa, like how cool that person is. I want to follow him. And that's what people are doing, right? Nowadays. So they're not focused on the substance, but they're following. People have these large followings on YouTube. This is the biggest deceiving tool out there, right? So because when you have earning through advertisement, then you will do and say anything that will keep the eyeballs engaged. and the ears engage for us for a given person, right? So that's why this generation of TikTok and as my son calls it, it's like a brain rot, right? And he's 11 years old, mashallah. Right? He says like this is all, it's like this will completely rot your brain. So what you have to do is something I can say, okay? I think you're only 6 credits short. So you have 2 options. And how much time will it take you to complete the 6 credits?
It's going to take me a semester because I did not sign up for classes this semester, so I missed on that intentionally, hoping to give more time to alnafi and finishing the courses.
That's something you can do, absolutely, yes. But how much time will it take you to go back and complete that? I'm just asking, just give me a ballpark number.
So it's going to be around 4 months.
4 months, okay.
Yes.
And this is like studying part-time, full-time, like
That's going to be starting part-time because I only have 2 classes. I cannot sign up for more.
I mean, and the other thing is just like, what subjects are those? Like, I mean, those are just basic subjects anyway. I mean, the substance that you're studying here in cybersecurity, I mean, if you study CSSP, the whole degree can be done through CSSP. I mean, you can even, right? You can even ace the degree by just going through 3 courses, Python, Linux, like RHEL and CSSP, right? So
That
these
is
four,
that is exactly what's astonishing. Like after just listening to the lectures and reading the notes for the first 2 domains, I had a more more profound idea of cybersecurity and at an organizational level than, as I said before, after studying 1.5 years and more than 54 credits at college.
yes, that's the difference, right? There was an interview taken today by like a 16-year-old, sister from Saudi Arabia. I don't know, like if you were watching that interview, she was going through AI ops interview, right, today, and she scored 90%. It was not 86. When I compiled the results, it was 90%. Listen to the interview, and
Will
I give her advice what needs, what she should do, right? And if she goes to any company in the US right now, as we speak, she will easily secure a job. At the
So
age of six, at
she's
the
an
age of,
AI ops student?
she completed AI ops.
She completed AI ops. Okay.
She started like last year. I think she started when she was in 8th grade. She just completed 10th grade. She turned 16 and she completed her AI ops. So it took her like 2 years, right? So there's a student of ours whose name is Musa Jamal. He's 16. He completed his DevSecOps level 5 and he's working on a 6-figure salary in Pakistan. He's the youngest CCAD Kubernetes certified Kubernetes application developer, right? So I can tell you what you can do. And what's your degree in? What's the associate degree name for your wife that she completed? Like, what was that? Same
Uh,
cybersecurity?
So it's slightly different. I had to change mine a little bit because it was trending. So the classes are literally the same. The degree program name is different. So it's her degree name is Computer Science Associates Pathway.
That's okay. So both of you will have the same pathway, right? If she's
Yes,
listening, if she's sitting here, this is for her as well. Okay. So she completed her associate degree, right? So
she
she's
has.
so if she goes to the college right now, a university, she has to do what? What does she has to follow?
So she actually was going to the college. She was very anxious about not learning anything. She signed up for Winona State. We have a city, Winona, here, not far from here. So the way our degrees are working is that the community college is offering the first 2 years, 60 credits. Then what they do for people like us is that they transfer our credits to a university for the next 2 years. So she actually was transferred and was starting 4 classes on her in regards to her degree program.
Yes.
She was not getting anything. She was literally not getting. She was telling me that the material, it's the same degree program, but the material taught here has no relevance to the material that is being taught in the class right now. So I was like, okay, let me just introduce you. She's actually she sits with me right now and works on RHEL, and bash scripting and whatnot.
So this is what she has to do. So both of you can easily secure. I mean, the opportunities for you to work like this is up to you now, right? So you're in like in Minnesota, which is like kind of a blue state. This is the same state for Ilham, right? the Somali congresswoman. She's from
Yes,
Minnesota,
she's
right?
from Minnesota.
Yes. So this is like a blue state, right?
Yeah, I believe it comes in the blue states, yes.
Blue state. So what was his name? The running mate for Kamala Harris? Like,
I, I I'm not into politics very much, so I
I
am
mean,
not sure about the name.
I mean, you see, like, you lose the pathway. Kamala Harris running pathway was from Minnesota, right?
She was. She actually won from Minnesota this time in
Kamala
these
Harris,
elections.
like running vice president, was from Minnesota. I can't remember his name. Anyway, so this is what you have to do. This is the pathway, right? It's up to you if you want to go and study at the college, right? You have two pathways. The first is, and I'm going to share the screen so that you can see. And both of you have the same pathway, right? So this is what you have to do. I mean,
We
because
do.
pretty much like similar, because I think she's a little bit ahead of you, right?
She's
But she's
like 6 credits ahead of me, yes.
trying to open that right now. So they're moving the systems as we speak. Okay. Well, this is loading. This is going to take forever. I have to restart this Mac. It's been a long time, more than 2, 3 months. Wish the updates. Okay, I think this is loading. So, and how old is she?
She's 20 right now.
20. Okay, she's 20, you're 22.
I'm
So
22.
this is option one. Option one is basically you do your HND, right? With AI ops. There are no exams. It's all assignment based. Lots of labs. There will be when you're going through the Al Razzaq program, you'll be given early access to Al Razzaq program, right? If you register for the exams for EduQual and Pearson. So you go through all of those things and you'll be doing at least 1,500 to 2,000 labs. These are tasks that you have to do, and they will be related to cybersecurity, offensive security, GRC, DevOps, SysOps, AI, all of them combined, right? So you'll be doing all of those things so that when you go for an interview and they ask you about cybersecurity or GRC or any of those things, you are able to answer them effectively. That's the goal, right? To prepare you, because you only have one shot when you go for the interview. So just to prepare you to make sure that you're fully prepared for the tasks. The HND subjects are pretty easy. Whatever you have studied, pretty much it is going to look or feel is going to be the same. I'm not sure like what subjects you have studied for associate degree in cybersecurity, but it's going to be or computing. It's going to be similar. Okay. If you complete this, you can go in the final layer of participating universities in the US. I mean, there are different. I mean, in US there are more than 3,000, 2,000 universities. It's a big, every state has multiple universities, right? And colleges and so on and so forth, right? So you can apply for, if you do HND in computing or HND in digital technologies, you can take admission in multiple universities in the States. These 2 years are going to be intense for you. You have to study at least 4 or 5 hours a day, nonstop. However, in the first 12 months, you will be ready to start applying for jobs, right? And you should be able to secure your first job as between 85 to $100,000.
That's in Minnesota.
Well, it is going to be, you have to keep your options open. So when you're applying, don't just apply in Minnesota, apply everywhere, right?
Understood.
Right. So as you mentioned in your message, you said like you can move anywhere, right?
I can, yes. If the
So
time comes, I can.
yes.
No problem.
So if your wife finds a job in California, yes, you can move to California. If she finds, or if you find something in New York, you can move to New York, right? Your skills will be similar, right? So both of you can be accommodated in the same state quite easily. All the high-tech states like Texas, there's a lot of job openings now coming up in Texas because like they're investing heavily. And just like 2 days ago, when they announced the Trump administration that they will be investing $500 billion,
Yes.
right, over 4 years' time, and they've already given $100 billion right now in developing massive data centers, right, for providing AI services. So what they're trying to do is they're trying to introduce all these new things, the AI, the infusion of AI into every department, every business, everything that they are doing, right? So they just want to make sure like every staff, every US citizen is equipped with AI or augmented with AI. That's the edge that they can create, and that's exactly what they're trying to do. However, people, organizations need to adopt AI through multiple skills. So the skills in AI ops are going to cover both you and your wife, right? You have to pass your own exam. She has to pass her own exam, right? Okay. So both of you have to study separately. Okay. That's one thing. In this option, in 12 months' time, and I'm very pessimistic. If I'm optimistic, you will find a job in 6 months' time, which I am. But I'm telling you, because if I give you 6 months, and if you don't work as I am telling you to do, then you will come back to me and say, Faisal Bhai, you said like 12 months' time, 6 months' time, I'll find a job. I haven't found a job. What is happening? So that's why I'm telling you 12 months' time. Okay. But if you follow what I'm telling you, in 6 months' time, in the next 3 months, people will start calling you. So if you want to go in and start working as a Linux administrator, just by doing RHEL and DevOps track will enable you to find a job in the States, like even in your own state in Minnesota, right? Quite easily. The pay range is going to be 65 to 75. You haven't finished the course, you're still studying, you don't have an associate degree, you have nothing, or even if you have it, it doesn't matter, you'll be able to find a job. If you complete the courses that I'm going to tell you to complete the courses. Okay? So that's something you have to do. This is path one, option one, HND and AIOps. Both of them can be done in 2 years' time. This will enable you to go and study in the last year of the bachelor's. How much is the last year of bachelor's? How much is the fee at a public university? You still have to pay, right? How much is it?
So right now for my associates, I was not doing that. Financial aid was taking care of that. But if I'm paying from pocket, then
At a
my
university
estimate my estimate is I've heard something around the ballpark would be something around 22 to 30 grand
per annum or
per
for,
annum. Yes.
per annum. So
That's my thought. Yeah.
yeah, right. So if you search on Google, like on Chat GPT, it will tell you like roughly how much will I end up paying if I'm you and you are a US citizen. You're not even an
I am.
international student, right? So US citizens, they pay in the ballpark of minimum 15,000, right, per annum. This is just a tuition fee, right?
Right.
To maximum, it can go upward to 50, 60, 70,000, depending on where you want to go, right?
I believe that's right.
Right? That's just a tuition fee. That's a lot of money. So if you do HND plus AI ops, both of them over 2 years' time can be done in 10% of that cost. You have already invested in AI ops. You have
Yes.
access for 18 months, right? The HND in computing will start from April, the
Okay.
online classes, right? Right now, we have started taking the physical classes, right? So the online classes will start then, right?
Okay.
They will be recorded, they will be available for you. It's going to be a walk in a park. There's nothing. The only reason you're doing HND is just to go for the final year. So you have two options. If you go and study right now after completing your associate degree and you just do your AI ops, and if you want to, you'll be able to find a job. So that's option two is you don't study HND, you just do your, you know,
Regular studies.
yes, just regular studies, complete your AI ops, you'll be able to find a job. Absolutely, yes. It will take you 12 months' time. You have to
Right.
follow a pathway. I'm going to tell you what exams you have to pass. You will be able to find a job, right? Since you are a US citizen, most probably you'll be able to find a job in the government sector because they're going on a hiring blitz right now. They're looking for new talent. And as a US citizen, you'll be able to pass the, background checks and all these kind of checks, right? Because they are looking for people who are US citizens, have the AI skills so that they can put them on sensitive work.
So
right?
I have experience working in benchmark. They make ITAR goods for companies like Honeywell and different military contracts, and that is one of the reasons. It's in my resume actually. If you were able to look through that. So what happened was I had to leave that place because I was at a discontent. Um, it was just a discontent term in terms of working there because there was a presentation that was held, and in that presentation, there was a $600 million project that Honeywell and different American companies that are working with the Army had offered benchmark. And it was ITAR. It was $600 million, all weapon grade stuff that we were making. And I didn't realize until the end when it was said in the presentation that all that stuff that we're building is going to Gaza.
Yeah.
Israelis are getting that. And after a week, I was like, no,
If that is
no,
something,
man.
if you have a moral compass, which is good, mashallah, right? Because not normally everyone has that, right? So then I would say there is no need. The private sector is still huge and big. The next sector would be that, again, I don't know the level of, you know, the sunnah that you follow. Banks are there, financial institutes are there, fintech companies are there, payment processing companies are there, investment banks are there as well as compared to retail banking. Telecommunication sector is there. There are more than 50 different industries where you can go and potentially work. Retail sector is there, which do not participate directly or indirectly within these, uh, un-Islamic activities, I would say, right? So I don't know about the level of religion that you follow, right? Or how, like on a scale of 1 to 5, 5 is being following the Sunnah completely, right? So this is a different thing, right? People are developing that kind of, I would say, understanding even in the West now, and they're realizing, right? So there is that's a different discussion we can have later on, right? So you have different two options. One of them is basically option one, you do HND and AI ops. In 12 months' time, you'll be able to find a job. In 2 years' time, you'll be able to complete everything, inshallah, right? You have either way, you have to become QB astronaut, right? Now, Al-Nafi Cloud is coming. You don't have to buy a subscription for that. As part of the AI ops, you'll be given complete access to everything. So
Okay.
you can click on it, it will give you a container, you can start working in the container,
And
right?
when would that be happening approximately if we have to time it out?
So maybe February first week or second week because we are testing it out. Just today, every day I'm in a meeting, testing, stress testing, smoke testing, business functionality testing. There are different kind of testing methodologies, right? There are 5 different vulnerabilities that we have found out in the system. They have to patch it. There's a DevSecOps process. There's chaos engineering going on. There's a ton of things that we are throwing at the system to make sure that it is secure and compliant,
Understood.
right? So most probably in the first week of February, it will be available to all of you. And all the old students will be invited to go and join the new portal where you will find all of these things ready for you. So you can just simply migrate over. We are trying to migrate your progress and everything as much as we can from the old to the new portal. In the new portal, you will find that. So step by step, we are training you, and there you will find Bari, our artificial intelligence, which will guide you step by step for everything that you're doing. So if you make a mistake, it's a real environment, and it's a real Linux machine, Windows machine, and you have made a mistake. The AI will tell you, Muhammad, you made a mistake because you executed the command incorrectly. This is the command that you have to run, right?
Wonderful.
So it will tell you, and it will also tell you once you execute the command and you get the results, it will then tell you, by the way, you were configuring Kubernetes cluster or OpenShift cluster or Red Hat or Camel configuration. And these are the potential things that the employers can ask you when you go for an interview. So it is also preparing you for the interview as well, right? So right now it can communicate you with the text. We're trying to give it a voice and so that it can start communicating with everyone in their own native languages so it can speak. We are testing it out again. It's a phenomenal system. The project is Al-Bari, artificial intelligence, and the solution name is Bari. Um, our non-Muslim clients are calling it Bari, Barry, right? Not the Barry from Flash, but but kind of like
Yes.
similar, right? But inshallah, so that's something that is available for you as well. So that's option one. If you follow that, then the advantage is you don't have to pay, even if we, as a ballpark figure, say first year of, last 2 years of college is going to cost you, 30 to $40,000, for example. 15 to 12, 15 to 20 is the per annum fee. That's just a fee. If you add another
Tuition
expenses,
fee.
traveling, this and that, whatnot, we're talking about, 50 to $60,000. So if you want to have a degree, because in some cases you will be asked for a degree. So yes, you have the diploma, but why not just go back and just complete the degree, right? You have the credits, right? That will help you. But if some of the, like for example, one of the students, Zara Kadri, she's a high school graduate, just a high school, simple, not even an associate degree, nothing, right? She's a high school graduate, and she just did her AI Ops diploma in AI Ops. She scored well, mashallah, 85% something. She never studied any art, anything in her life. And now, mashallah, she's working on $150,000 plus per annum.
That's in
She's working,
US?
that's in US. She's working for a bank.
Oh,
She's working for a bank, right? But that's her choice. It's fine. I mean, I can't say anything. Everyone has different circumstances and different level of iman, right? So I believe like last time when she was here, I think she went for something like someone told me that Federal Reserve, one of the Federal Reserves, called her like to work over there, and I think they were paying more than 165, 175 something. No qualification, no prior
wow.
experience, nothing, right? So she learned everything from here. Then she kept on building upon her foundation, and she went there, right? I'm going to try to see if I can find her clip, then I can show it to you, right? So that's one thing, okay, inshallah. The other option is you don't do HND. You just say, I just don't want to do HND. I'm just going to go and I'm going to study AI ops, and I'm going to go and start working in the industry. But when you have to go to the university, then you have to pay uh, 2 years of tuition. In the first year, you only have to pay 1 year of tuition.
Right.
If you,
With
right?
the
And
H&D. That is with the H&D option because
the
it
HND option,
takes you
right?
through the last year and you have to pay for the last year fee and finish your diploma, your
That's it.
degree.
Your degree, right? If you want the degree. The other option is that you complete your HND and you say, you know what, like the US degree is very expensive. And both the options you can select this. You can say the US degree is very expensive. It's like, I have to pay 20,000, 25, $30,000 per annum. I'm just going to go and study from University of London or from upcoming Nafi University, and I'm just going to pay them for the final year, which is going to be around $15,000 or $10,000, something like that. That's another option.
And that's your university, you said? Alnafi University?
Nafi University is coming, yes, right?
Oh, when is it going to be 2025 or are we expecting it to
You
be
will
later?
know. I'm not sharing any dates, anything. People
Okay.
are asking me. You will know through our social media channels. So just follow that, right?
Okay.
Inshallah. So just follow that. So, but we are coming, inshallah, and soon you will know because it's a school, a college, and a university. It's starting from two places first, Canada and UK. So it's a masjid. I can tell you this. On left side is the school. On right side is college and university,
Okay.
right? So the school has its own musalla inside, which is connected to the masjid. And the masjid is the Islamic academy as well, because that's the next generation Islamic scholars and all of those teachers will be teaching here as well, right? So the teachers are based in Canada and UK. Some of the teachers have already reached UK. They're already living there now. So it's going to, you will know. I can't share more details, right? So that's option two. In either way, you can go and say, you know what, I don't want to do that. I'm just going to do remote degree from UK. And that's going to be much cheaper as compared to studying, even if you pay in British pounds, that's still cheaper as compared to studying in US. In US, the education is way expensive, right? So these are the two options you have. And either way, you have to complete an option one. So it's HND, AI Ops, and becoming a QB astronaut. And if you want to do CSSP, yes, you can do CSSP. Don't do it right now. It's $750 fee. There's
Yes,
no
in US it is.
in USA, that's the fee, right? Roughly. So don't go for the CSSP right now. There's no need, right? If you want to pass ISACA qualifications, the fee is a non-member pays $750 something. If you get the membership, then you pay $575 plus 150 membership, right? You buy the course, you buy material, all of those things separately. On our side, you can buy the whole exam voucher with notes and everything for only $500. Don't ask us how are we making this thing possible, right? We have an arrangement with ISACA, the International Audit and Control Association in the US, based in Chicago, and we are only collecting the fee for the exam. That's it. The question answers, the material is all free for our students, and this is only available for our students, right? So you can do that as well. You can do CISA or CISM. In your age, looking at you, you can even work for PwC, the big four consulting companies, right? Because that's the kind of talent that they're looking for. They're looking for handsome people per se. That's their one of the criteria, handsome and smart, right?
It's
So
actually a
mashallah,
criteria. Okay.
that is the criteria for big four. Don't ask me how I was able to work there, right? Right. So that's one of the criteria, right? So they're looking for talented people, smart, well-dressed looking, stuff like that, right? So that's one of their criteria, right? Anyway, so there are many other consulting companies. All of them are based in the US. So apart from the defense sector and the banking sector and all the haram sectors, as we call them, right? Haram means forbidden. There are many halal sectors available that you can go and work in potentially. In either cases, both you and your wife can do all of these things. So option one, HND, AI Ops, QB astronaut, CSSP. All of these things can be done within 2 years' time.
Okay.
All of them. We'll make it easy for you. Everything will be there on the portal. Just practice, practice, practice. Labs. You know, everything can be done. Question answers, Q&A, all of those things. Your goal should be just complete the Al Razzaq program as much as you can. Complete the, EduQual exam. Even if you come right now by studying like 70-80% of the courses, you'll be able to pass the exam,
Yeah,
right?
you
Because
call
you have
exam.
for the AI ops, yes, you have the communication skills. Just prepare yourself. You can do that, right?
Understood.
The HND is again, it's all, and there's no GPA. It's three categories: pass, uh, merit, and distinction. Distinction is at 90 and above. Merit is like from 85, 80 to something above to 90 is merit. 89 is merit. And below that is all pass, right? You can easily get merit to distinction. Talking to you right now, I can tell you, inshallah. Okay? Inshallah, because you have the aptitude and the communication skills. Okay? So that's option one. Option two is you just do AI ops, scratch, HND out, and and then you become QB astronaut and CISSP exam. And this way you can also go for job in 12 months time. You don't have to pay anything. That's what you can do, inshallah. Okay. Either way, don't go for any other further exams apart from EduQual exams. That's it. Nothing else. Focus on getting the skills, getting your resume ready by completing the Al Razak labs, applying for jobs. That's it.
I was actually preparing myself to really get the CSSP material in so I can go take the exam.
You
That's
will be
actually
able
what I
to
was going.
You can easily get into GRC. If I prepare your resume right now and send you to PwC or Deloitte or KPMG, EY, you can ace the interview. I'm telling you right now. Even if you go right now, in the next 2 months' time, you will be able to ace the interview and you get in. You're in. You're already at, this is coming from a PwC partner, right? For me, used to be there at that level. So that's the kind of talent we look for. So you can go there, inshallah. Okay. So this is option two. In option one and option two, it depends on where do you want to do your degree. In option one, you have the opportunity of doing your bachelor's last year in US or overseas.
Right.
Or you can just skip the bachelor's and say, you know what, forget the bachelor's. AI ops and all of these things. I already have the associate degree in AI ops. I'm just going to go for a master's program. You can go into the master's program in UK and in the select partners in the US as well, but it's going to be at the lower end universities, right?
Ah,
Lower tier universities. There's nothing wrong with that. You know, like you can go to Harvard or MIT or Stanford, but you will end up with a $500,000 debt as compared to, and you will spend the rest of your life paying off that debt. Versus go to a mediocre university at the lower tier, you will end up with a house. You will have your house, right? So it depends on what do you want to do. So, you know, make your decisions wisely. Choose wisely where do you want to go, right? Both the options have the opportunities of both bachelor's and master's for you, right? And the same path can be followed by your wife as well. Keep your options open. Don't only focus on cybersecurity because all the cybersecurity is in the cloud. So you need to know DevOps. It's in the cloud. So you need to know SysOps. It's AI is coming. So you need to know AI. So you're already doing AI ops. So there's nothing else you need to follow. Okay? Inshallah. That is the pathway for you. If you work in the industry for 2, 3 years, get out, open your own company.
that answers my second question.
I will give you so much talent pipeline. You can keep on hiring these people, right? That you will be running out of work, like running out of headcount because you will have so much work. US will be going through a phase of massive work in cybersecurity, AI, DevOps, SysOps, cloud, all the cloud, blockchain, all these emerging technologies, right? Because that's the only way US can prosper by infusing itself with latest technologies and investing in the infrastructure. And that's exactly what Elon Musk and Trump is going to do. And they already have started that pathway, right? Whether they achieve it or not is a different pathway because they are competing forces. Democrats push their own agenda and Republicans come with their own agenda. You know, it's being a devil. I don't want to be a devil's advocate here, but I'm just going to leave that there for them to, hash it out. That's not my place. But what I'm going to say is like for yourself, there will be tremendous opportunities for business growth, but you need to work in the industry for at least 2 years.
For those 2 years.
Both you and your wife, you can become the managing director, she can become the CEO, right? And you can manage those companies, inshallah. Okay? That is my recommendation for you, inshallah.
So first of all, I have noticed that I've watched a couple live sessions as well, and you have emphasized the focus on mostly getting the Kubernetes certificates and going that route. Why is that mostly? Like
So
Musa Jamal, I read.
good question. So there are certain bodies in the world, right? The reason is we are already covering. So, like SANS has more than 70 plus certifications, right?
That's right.
All the content of SANS, all the content and beyond is covered in alnafi cloud in the form of
Yeah,
lab.
without the cost.
So my goal is to take down SANS. Let this be on the record, right? Inshallah. Yeah, that's my goal, right?
Inshallah.
The other thing is in the alnafi cloud, you will find privacy. You will find privacy related labs, cybersecurity labs, offensive security labs. We are teaching you the job description. So if you go as a cybersecurity architect, as a GRC consultant, as a pen tester, as a privacy consultant, as a SCADA automation engineer, right? All of these fields, there are more than 22 fields. And within those fields, there are more than 160 job titles. We are covering each and every aspect of them. The reason I emphasize, so there is business continuity, disaster recovery, there is privacy, there is cloud computing, there is DevOps, there's software development, there's blockchain, there is quantum computing is there. So I'm teaching quantum computing as per Quran and Sunnah. So you'll be surprised, like, yeah, I mean, even the non-Muslims, if they want to study with me, that's how I, communicate, right? So anyway, so there's a lot of things coming, inshallah, and those are part of our degree programs. I'm shaking the foundation, my goal is to shake the very foundation of this, 200 years old academic infrastructure. AI has given us the capability to do so because I'm using extreme automation for that purpose, right? So that is my goal, to make skills easier for everyone to attain, but at the same time get a degree as well. Because I can't remove the degree requirement because that will always be there. Because it's kind of like a
EduQual.
standard that you have to follow, right? I mean, you can't have a doctor without a degree.
That's right.
So you need that, right? So anyway, the reason I focus on Kubernetes is containerization. In the next 10 years, everything will be containerized. Virtual machines will go away. It's already containerized. 80% of the world containers are managed on AWS, roughly.
Wow.
So every application will be running as a container because that's one of the ways of reducing the cost. So for every organization, wherever you go in cybersecurity, offensive security, GRC, software development, DevOps, SysOps, any field you choose, you will find a container there. That is why I focus on containerization. By the way, QB astronaut is one qualification by Linux Foundation. It's a good qualification. I'm already creating my own certification body, right? So that is coming. So I'll be creating certifications on Kubernetes, which are going to be much more advanced and much more hands-on and much more intense as compared to what Linux Foundation offers. I need 1 year at least because the university and the college and the mosque project is in the pipeline, right? I can't clone myself enough to do all of these things, right? So if I can use CRISPR to basically edit my genes and remove the need for sleep, then yes, I can do it, right? I can't do it right now. And Islamically, it is not allowed as well, right? So I can't mess up with the gene, right? Anyway, so that's the goal. QB, astronaut will help you in terms of like getting into the industry faster. This is only good for 5 years. In the next
Oh,
5 years, 10 years, it'll be a different story, right? Because like one thing you have to learn, the last takeaway is do not stop your learning journey. You have to keep on learning because the moment you stop, your career will stop. You said you're 22 years old, right?
I am.
And your wife is 20,
She's 20.
right? So by the time you are 24, 23, you will be sitting on a job, inshallah. As I said, like either way, if you want to go, this will take you further. Your first job should be between 75 to 85, right? With option two, option one, 85 to 100K with option two. It's up to you what you decide, inshallah. But either way, don't stop the learning journey. Don't think like I've become AI ops, I know everything. No. Be connected to the portal, keep on doing the labs. Just like
It's going
people
to be a continual process then.
continue the process. This is the continuous process. The learning journey never stops. One of the Imam was dying, Imam Ahmad bin Hanbal or Imam Shafi, can't remember. So, he was going through Sakarat al-Maut. Sakarat al-Maut means like, the agony of death. So you sometimes you pass out, then you wake up again, then you pass out, wake up. That's what's happening to him. So when he passed out, he will say, no, not yet, no, not yet. So when he woke up, his son said, like, oh, my father, don't you want to die? Why are you saying, no, not yet? He said, no. Shaitan was standing in front of me and was saying, oh, Ahmad bin Hanbal, you are slipping through my fingers. So I said, no, not yet. Until I'm alive, I have to keep on following Islam. The moment I die, then yes, then it's over. The fight is over. So until you are alive in this world, you have to keep on following the pathway of, learning. Because if you stop, you will be out. Right? So instead of wasting time on Netflix or something like that, right? Or TikTok or anything like that, go and say, okay, I'm just going to go on Razzaq and do some labs, right? 4, 5, 6, 7 labs, something like that. I just want to see what's happening. And that will give you new ideas of what you can bring in because there are more than 5 million labs. and there is no way anyone can do those labs. And that covers each and every industry on the face of the planet, right? Each and every job title on the face of the planet. So if you want to break in, yes, you can break in, right? By only doing 3,000 is more than enough for you to secure like a six-figure salary job. But if you want to do the business and whatnot, you need to know how to harness the power. And that's what we are teaching you all of those things, right? Inshallah. So you can be a successful entrepreneur down the line in 2, 3 years' time. First, complete the studies and then move forward, inshallah. Do you have any questions?
One last question, Faisal. So you provide me with the options and now have a choice to make. So for example, do the H&D. It will put me in the last year of baccalaureate program. I can finish my baccalaureate program with a 4-year degree, essentially, for the theoretical industry and have the practical knowledge from the AI ops program. Go sit on a job. Option one. Option
No, no,
number
you will sit
two,
on a job prior to that. You will sit on a job prior to that.
prior to that.
Prior to
So
that, if you follow this pathway, how much hours are you spending every day?
I'm studying about 5 to 6 hours every single night.
You will find a job in the next 6 months. Okay, this is what I'm going to do, right? I'm going to ask them to give you early access to alnafi Cloud. Go and start doing the labs.
Thank you.
Okay, this is what I'm going to do. Okay, so you'll be the first early ones to go and test it out. Okay, start
That's
doing
wonderful.
that. I'm going to ask them to open everything for you. Okay, just go.
Wonderful. And
So
so yeah, yes, sir.
it is going to be as per your pathway. So I'm going to define, there's a new thing which is coming in the new portal, which is known as the Al Razzaq program. So Bari is going to ask you a series of questions: where you are, what you do, give me your resume, this and that, and it brings that information to me.
Okay.
So what I do is then I will choose a pathway for you. So you will select, I don't want to work in the defense sector or something like that. I want to work in ethical companies. So it will ask you questions. So select the industries you want to select, right? And then it will come to me. And then we will define a pathway for you. This is what the Al Razak team does. So there's a lot of human element involved. So it will review all the things, your responses, and it will design a program for you. So I'm going to design a program for you where I see that you can be successful in the US. You already have the US citizenship, right? So that's number one. Number two is you just need to follow option one or option two, whatever you choose. As per remember one thing, make a decision as per your financial conditions. Don't stretch yourself. Don't go on a debt. Don't do any of those things. Because either way, you will find a job in 6 months' time. If you
Inshallah.
follow what I'm going to tell you, inshallah, to do. Okay? Strengthen yourself first. Complete all those things that you already have. Don't keep on buying stuff and you can't even use it. Don't make that mistake, right? So you still have a lot of time to think about option one, option two. You're already doing AI ops. Either way, in both the options, AI ops is the main common factor,
Yes.
right? So you follow that first. Both you and your wife say, okay, you follow that, I follow this, but we both, like exchange notes and talk to each other, stuff like that, right? So when you're talking to each other at home, talk in a Linux language, right? So this way you can be much more communicative and effective. And it's kind of so instead of doing sweet talk, just talk in Linux. It's going to be pretty dry though. It can be fun. Right? Anyway, so this is something that you can do, inshallah, right? The rest is up to you, what you follow, but you still have a lot of time. So I will give you all of those things. Go ahead.
Understood. Understood. So yes, so yours. The other thing was yesterday I was actually viewing your I was at work and I had an AirPod in. I was listening to your 95th live session Q&A. In that section, you mentioned the EduQual exam one, and I had not bought that exam. So last night, before coming on this Zoom live session, I went on to alnafi.com and I was selecting EduQual to purchase that. But I was just seeing a wheel of that for 15 minutes straight, and it was not letting me add it to my cart and go from there. Is that
I don't
something
know,
a technical?
no, that might be an issue because I have to go and check, right? If that happens, you should always contact the support and say, I'm trying to buy what is happening, right?
So I did that, and they were telling me to their relevant department will reach out to me in case there is an issue from their end and they can work on it.
Yeah.
So
I mean, oh, it's a multi cloud environment hosted in multiple places, right? And it's becoming pretty big beast for us to manage, right? So we are trying to do whatever we can. That's why I'm testing thoroughly before we roll it out the alnafi cloud, right? So it's a lot of work for us. I start my day at 4 a.m. in the morning.
I saw your text. That's the time you were texting me around 4
Yeah, so
4
I
2 a.m.
so
Yep.
I wake up, like I pray salah, then my witr is always at before 1 hour before Fajr, right? So when I did all of those things, and send you a message, okay, I said, okay, I'm going to check and I'm going to respond back. Because if I pick up my phone early on, then it becomes a problem. I've saved your number, by the way. So if a text comes from you, I'll be able to read it, inshallah, and respond back.
Wonderful. Just finishing up my previous question where I was talking about the comparison between the options that you gave me. So the option one, HND, last year of bachelorate, finish, complete the AOPS, land a job and start working. Option number two, essentially don't do if you don't want to do the HND, finish the AOPS, get all the labs in, get all the material in, memorize as much as you can, practice, and do the associates on the other end, just finish those credits. And would you recommend when I finish my associates to go for the bachelor's program as well if I choose to go that route?
I mean, at this stage, if you want to have something like a feather in your cap and say, okay, you know what, I'm just going to go and spend $60,000 and get a bachelor's,
Then that's the okay.
so and then just go
Well,
and make a
that
decision.
that really simplifies the path for me. Yeah, I believe right now I don't want to spend money because financial aid was taking care of all of that, and I believe in the past 1 and 2 years I've spent like 18,000 dollars just for the associate's degree. By the time I'm finished,
This was not free.
approximately,
Oh,
approximately. So
okay.
that's how much financial aid has paid for me. It's around ballpark of 16 something or 17. By the time I'm done with my associate's degree with the two credit classes that are left, I
Yes.
will be sitting around 18, 17 something or 18.
So if a student studies O level and BTech and HND and AI ops with us, I think the fee is 13 or $14,000 for the states. That's it. So for the whole program, and you spend 17,000 something in the ballpark of that figure by just doing what? Like your associate degree.
Associate's degree and learning
So,
nothing from it.
so I mean, that's a different story. Anyway, okay, so Jazakallah khair for your time. If you have any questions, you can always come back. You should reach out to support, and they will be able to help you out in terms of buying the exam and everything, inshallah, okay?
Wonderful.
I should be able to, hear something from you in the next, I would say, 6 months or something like that, inshallah, right?
Inshallah.
You are secured a job. This is the sister I was telling you about. So let me
Hello
share.
everyone, I hope you're all doing well. My name is Zara Kadri.
I'm just going to share like her video so that you can see. And this will give you some motivation to you and your wife as well. And she is 32 years old, 33 years old, only have high school, right? And she is working basically on 150,000 above, right? That's her story. So just listen to that.
And I just wanted to share my experience of the alnafi AI Ops course with you all. And I'm in the hope that it will inspire other women, especially Pakistani women and other women of color, to take the first step into getting into IT. So 1 year ago, I was working as a realtor. I was juggling work environment and my two boys and just trying to find my footing in the world, I guess. Um, I always felt like there was something bigger I wanted to do. I always had an interest of getting into cybersecurity, but I never thought it possible because I just didn't think I was technically inclined towards being able to do it. Um, like many other people, I thought that it was just for people who have technical degrees or they have years and years of experience. And cybersecurity just seemed really scary to me, honestly. And especially as a Pakistani woman and a mother, I never thought that I could do that, honestly. But everything changed. I actually got Faisal Bhai's number from a friend, And he started talking to me about Al-Nafi and the vision that he has to bring Muslim women into the field of IT and cybersecurity. So Faisal's approach really resonated with me. His message was clear that this space not only needs more diversity, but it welcomes it, and especially for Muslim women like myself. He spoke about how the barriers we face, cultural, societal, personal, that we all know that we face very strongly, but they should not hold us back from stepping into these roles and shaping our future and shaping the future of technology. This perspective really did hit home for me. It wasn't just about learning new skills, but it was about breaking the stereotype and just really changing the narrative for women in our community. The Nafi AIOps course was a perfect starting point for me. The way Faisal and his team structured the course, they broke down the very complex subjects and gave real world application. And the journey just felt very achievable for me from my first day when I started doing Linux and I couldn't even figure out how to download an operating system, to now where I am. They understood the challenges that the beginners would face, and he went ahead and through his humbleness and supportiveness, he was very helpful in the process. His encouragement for my personal growth and empowering me, it really fueled my determination, reminding me that this path wasn't just necessary, but it was possible. Now, a whole year later, I've transitioned into cybersecurity, and I'm truly humbled by how far I've come. The journey wasn't easy, but having incredible mentors and teachers like Faisal and someone who can believe in me and the potential of women and Pakistani Muslim women, it really made a difference. His vision, coupled with Al Nafi's practical approach to teaching, was the foundation that I needed for success. To all the Pakistani women and mothers and people of color who just feel like it's out of reach, if I can do it, you can do it. And Faisal's guidance showed me that it's not just about where you start, it's about where you're willing to go and what you're willing to do to achieve what you want. The opportunities are vast in IT and cybersecurity. We need more people like us. There's a serious lack of diversity, and it's definitely time to change that. With hard work, determination, and the right support, then the world of tech is ours to explore. Al Nafi has given me that gift, and I am confident that it can do the same for you.
So this is something, coming from her. I think you should tell your wife to watch that, inshallah. Okay. Again, she's working at a bank, something I don't advocate for, right? But everyone has different circumstances. As a single mother, managing kids is not easy. So that's her own decision. But again, you have multiple options to work in the industry. So apart from banking and defense sector, there are multiple other sectors as well: retail, supply chain, Amazon, fintech companies, so many things, right, available. So choose, inshallah, choose the pathway. If you don't do this, the other option is go through what you're doing right now, and
Yes.
the American system is just going to you know chew through your existence slowly and gradually, because it's a rat race and it's not easy. And automation is going to make things more difficult. So the level of automation that is coming is going to make things more difficult, right? So the reason that they are pushing people out, anti-immigrant policies for unskilled people is going to go up, across the roof. Now, I've been saying this for past 7, 8 years now. Like, immigration can only be done through education. You can only settle in the industry through education and high-tech education. If you don't infuse AI with yourself and augment, AI is not using ChatGPT. No, this is just like what you consumers are doing. There's so many things, applications that organizations are still contemplating how they can infuse AI. And it will take them multiple years to do so. So if you follow it, and that's exactly what we're teaching, you'll be able to work in the industry, inshallah. Okay. All right. Jazakallah khair for your time.
Thank you so
If
much, Faisal. Bye.
I will try my best to answer back, inshallah. Okay? Jazakallah khair.